Good day, everyone, and welcome to the Analytical Lounge. Today, we're going to be looking at how we can actually use autonomous AI agents for marketing. This is just an illustrative example where we're going to show how we can use two agents. Initially, I had like 6 agents, but I simplified it to two for illustrative purposes so that at least you can see. So this is just a quick start guide that you can use to understand how autonomous agents work. And for this example, we're going to be using CrewAI, right? It's a Python-based platform that we are going to utilize. So now, let's go on to the first. In fact, let me put it in presentation view so that it's easier to navigate. Okay, right, that's better. Nice. So I'm just going to move straight to the first page where we're saying, what is a crew, right? So a bank doesn't exist. It's just a theoretical, hypothetical bank. So we're saying this is a marketing department within a bank called a bank. So by definition, an autonomous multi-agent system uses AI agents to execute complete marketing workflows from market research to content creation without human intervention. So, just for context, we're saying that initially, when ChatGPT 3 came out, that is November 2022, uh, we learned about prompting. So, basically, the only way we interacted with AI was through prompting, right? And then from there, uh, individuals and corporations said, okay, maybe we have to package our prompts into templates. So they came up with templates, which are almost like GPTs, like the ones that you can create on ChatGPT. So they came up with templates. At least with templates, you could actually control. That is, you could use one prompt for many scenarios where you can just change maybe the fields or the entry fields that you put in, but otherwise the system prompt of the template was the same. Then from there, they said, okay, maybe we can chain templates together and come up with workflows. So now you find that there's a for activity A, there's a template for activity D, B, C, D, like that. And then if you chain them together, then you have a workflow, right? Which achieves some objective. Then uh, now when you chain a few workflows together, you get an agent, or it could be one workflow that could actually make up an agent. And then now we're talking at the multi-agent state where agent A is working with agent B, with agent C, and this can actually be used to replicate the organogram of companies, literally, where you have roles, where maybe you have a marketing executive, you have a researcher, an analyst, so you can have those as agents. So think of that almost like the digital twins of people in the marketing department, right? So basically, like I said, um, by definition, an autonomous system uh, uses AI agents to complete marketing workflows, right? Remember, well, it's marketing specific, but otherwise, this applies to any industry, any field, any vertical, right? So the traditional approach is that you're going to do manual market research, you're going to do individual tasks at a time, and then there's sequential handoff. Some things are not, which could be done in parallel, have to be done one after the other, and you have to deal with human ego and and stuff like that, right? So you find that it's slow to complete. But now, if we were to use a crew AI approach where it's multi-agent, then it means that we're saying that it's automated intelligence gathering. That is, the research process becomes faster, of which this is something that a lot of companies are already using, and individuals as well, to do research using AI. And then you can have parallel processing where you have multiple agents doing uh, certain tasks at the same time. And then you can actually choose to say, do I want a human in the loop Or maybe I want it to be autonomous throughout, but then you can actually even put in review mechanisms within the autonomous workflow through something called LLM as a judge, where you're using other LLMs to actually vet and verify quality and accurateness. If it's in a brand, you're looking at things like brand voice, you're looking at things tonality, and into your ethos as well. So this is quicker, yeah. So that means that if it's totally autonomous, then it means that you have taken out the bottlenecks that human beings bring into the workflow, basically. So that's the idea. So let's see. So next question that we have is, what are autonomous agents, right? What are the benefits? So basically, I think I'm just rehashing what I said in the previous slide, where we're saying that speed, consistency, scale, and cost. If you look at those, then you have gains in all of those parameters, where you're saying that it's faster, you eliminate human error and other human fallacies and weaknesses like egos, procrastination, and right. And then also you can scale, I mean, exponentially. Literally, you could have 1,000 tasks running simultaneously. So, which is something that for you to achieve as using humans, you'd need quite a lot of people to do that, and we know that uh, that is not possible in terms of cost and stuff like that. And obviously, because it's faster, it's automated, there is a cost reduction as well, right? So the key insight here is that agents work together autonomously, like a human team, but faster and more consistent. So now, for illustrative purposes, I'm going to use the youth digital savings account example. It's hypothetical, and it's saying that okay, we're looking at targeting 18 to 25-year-olds in South Africa. We have a budget of 500,000 rand, and we want to launch it immediately. So the objectives of the campaign, the deliverables, sorry, that what is it that we need to achieve in this particular campaign. So obviously we need to come up with a report. We need to do competitor research. We need to do product feature recommendations, pricing strategy, content marketing plan, social media ideas. So these are tasks that are usually done by human beings, but now we're saying that we're doing it autonomously. So if we were to do it the traditional way, we would need a month or so to achieve this. But now let's look at our new team. So like I said, I had 6 agents to do a whole comprehensive campaign, but because I said, let me simplify things, so I just used 2 agents. I'm just going to use a market intelligence agent and a content marketing strategist. So the market intelligence analyst is going to look into the research and stuff like that, right? So this agent, right, has 15 years experience in South African banking, analyzes markets, competitors, opportunities, provides target audience insights, recommends features and pricing, of which with this, you can put guardrails, you can prompt and tell it what to do, what not to do, brand ethos, ethics. You could literally give it so much context that you curate the way that it generates these outputs. Same with Agent 2, you also curate, and it will give you, it's an award-winning campaign creator, a deep understanding of South African culture, develops messaging channels, and creates content ideas. So this is the team that we're going to be using today, Agent 1 and 2. So now, as an example, Agent 1 is the market analyst, right? So the role is obviously market intelligence analyst, and the objective, is to analyze SA banking, and you need to have a backstory this is context, right? So like that, and do you want it to be verbose or not, right? So that's a choice that you make. Then obviously the responsibilities, like I said, messaging channels, content creation, campaign ideas. Oops, I've gone to agent two. Right. So this is target audience, competitive landscape, features, and pricing. So that's what agent one is going to do for us. And then agent two, we're going to look at the content strategist. Like I said, we've already explained this, and obviously the responsibilities as well. So I won't rehash that. Now the sequential workflow process, right? I've put it because I've got two agents only. I won't be doing any parallel processing. I'm just going to do it sequentially where uh, agent one, the market intelligence analyst, does its tasks, then passes over to the content strategist. But otherwise, if I had more agents, I could actually do parallel processing at the same time, and then do the handovers like that, and take it from there. But I'm just using two. So basically, what I'm going to do, the two tasks is that I'm going to do market analysis, content strategy, and then give out an output. That is a complete campaign that we'll look at. So the context passing as well is important, right? We were saying task two is going to receive task one's output as context. So we're saying that the that which market intelligence analyst is doing is the input to what the content strategist is going to be doing. So that's where the sequential nature comes in. So they're going to build on each other's work, basically. So market analysis, okay, so this is where now we look at the first task where we're saying, okay, the task is uh, analyze the description, sorry, analyze market opportunity for youth development digital savings account, consider target audience, competitors, features, and pricing. And then the expected outcome is that we're going to have market analysis with obviously the target audience, 3 to 5 competitors, recommended features, pricing recommendation. So that's what we're going to have as output. And then for task two, uh, the expected outputs are 3 key messaging pillars, recommended channels, 5 social media post ideas. And we're saying that the context for the content strategist is the input that's going to come from the market analysis task. And then the content strategy task, we're saying the objective, that is the description, develop a content strategy for launching the product, include messages, channels, and content ideas, which we saw here as well. Right. So that's important that the context passing ensures coherent results. So it's important that from the market intelligence analyst, we curate it so much that when it's being used as context by the next agent, it carries over the parameters that we would have set, the guardrails and stuff like that. Right. So now, to create and run the crew, we have to assemble the crew. Remember, crew is just a synonym for team, right? We've got a team of 2 agents. So because we're using CrewAI, so that's why we're using the word crew, basically, right? Yeah. So like I said, the 2 agents that we have, market analyst, content strategist, the tasks, it's market analysis and content strategy, right? And the process, like we saw in the previous slide, is sequential, where it's one agent after the other. And then we're going to have a result after running this, and we'll save it in a results.txt file that we can actually download from our desktop, literally. So yeah, so basically when you run this, you'll be able to actually see how agents work, and yeah, so you can make your multi-agent system as complicated as you want. You can even bring in other services if it's data from other data sources, or you can bring in context from your CRM and stuff like that. So there's a lot that you can do. So if you've used N8N, then this is just operating at the multi-agent level, but otherwise, the same thinking that you use when you're doing workflows is almost the same. And yeah, that's it basically. So, yeah, so for my example, I'm just gonna go into how what I used, how I did it, and stuff like that. So, the prerequisite is you need a Python 3.1 plus. You need AI. So whether you're using OpenAI, Anthropic, or Gemini, and then obviously you need to have an environment file and all the CrewAI Python dependencies like Pydantic and all that kind of stuff, right? You need all the dependencies. Then you're going to run pip install CrewAI, right? This is what you do. Then create the env file and then um, run the Python file that has your agents. Okay. So it's quite easy. So basically, configure your API, run the Python file, and watch the agents work autonomously. So you'll see them. So you can actually create a front end if you want, where you can actually see them in a very easy to view human way, or you can see them work in the back end, right, from your command line, right? So this takes about 5 to 10 minutes, and then we're going to get a result that says test result timestamp.txt. So that's what we're going to do. And then, so a simple market analysis, remember from the first agent, would have like age, are they digital natives, mobile first, low initial savings, that kind of thing, competitors, your Capitec, Time Bank, that is bank products that are targeting the same customers, right? Remember, a bank is just a hypothetical bank that we came up with, right? So recommended features. So these are like 0 monthly fees, savings goals. Okay, so this is like a sample output, but very simplified, very high level. And then for the content strategist, we'll have messaging pillars. So you'd have 3, like we put out there, right? So things like empowerment, effortless saving, digital innovation. Obviously, this is speaking to the market analysis output, right? And then recommended channels. Where do you get these young people, 18 to 25, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, campus activations, and sample posts? And then you can also have sample posts for those channels as well. So basically, um, that's how a team of agents works. So these are the components that you have when it comes to CrewAI, where you've got an agent, you've got a task, and you've got a crew. And the agent is the who in this part. Who's doing the work? What is their role? They have to have a goal and a backstory. So backstory is important as well. And then what is the task at hand? What needs to be done, right? The job to be done has to have a description. What is the expected output, and what is the context? Context is very important because without context, and that means that it's going to give you some generic answer. That's why some people use retrieval augmented generation, RAG. Some will use like explicit context assignment, where they are literally putting in the context and stuff like that. There's so many ways of making sure that the task is done within the parameters that you set as a brand. Then the crew. Now, this is how the work flows, right? Like in this case, it was sequential between the 2 agents. So you have agents, you have tasks, and processes. So the formula is agents, task plus crew equals automation, basically, right? That's a nice addition equation right there, right? So, and the process types, also you could have sequential, hierarchical. So sequential, this is where you're running one after the other, where the output from one agent passes on to the next, and it's simple, predictable. You can actually see where it's if there are any bottlenecks or slowness or anything like that, you can actually see. It's easy to visualize and see. So use this when tasks depend on each other, and it's a linear workflow. So this is very simplified. And then you've got the hierarchical, where you've got the manager who coordinates. So this is what they call orchestration, right? Where the manager orchestrates, almost like the conductor of an orchestra. And then there's parallel execution. So there are quite a number of tasks running simultaneously. And then there's dynamic allocation, where literally it's not deterministic in the manner in which there is allocation. So that's important. So use this if it's independent tasks that are not necessarily dependent on each other, and also when you need optimization, because parallel processing means that you shorten the time. And yeah, so that's an optimization technique that you can actually do. So, but in our example, we're using sequential just for simplicity, because this is more illustrative than anything else. So things that you could do to customize and modify, all right? So you could change the product, right? I mean, in the example that I'm talking about, you could change the product, you could edit task descriptions, update target audience. You could add more agents, because right now I'm just using two, where you can put in people like the legal people, the compliance officer, the financial analyst, and you can add more tasks, right? Where now you have things like risk assessment, so that's done by the compliance officer, budget allocation, that's done by the financial analyst, and depending on what other agents you put, then there has to be corresponding tasks as well. So every agent has to have a job, right? So they have to have a task, basically, right? Then scaling the system. So you could actually segregate them into levels, where you're saying uh, the two agents that we have, that's the basic workflow, and then five agents, that's like a full campaign with the validation. Or you can have 7+ agents, and then this is actually an enterprise system with tools, where now maybe you're plugging into the CRM system. You have everything else in level 1 and 2, which is the validation and stuff like that. And you have all the POPIA, that is POPIA is almost like the GDPR of South Africa, literally. And yeah, you have everything that ticks all the all the all the buttons for enterprise, literally. So, but our example, like I said, is simplistic. It's level 1, right? And then some of the best practices when it comes to agent design, uh, the roles have to be really, really specific, right? When you're saying this person is market intelligence, then it's gotta be that. It's gotta be really, really defined, because you don't want overlap of roles. You don't want roles that are ambiguous, such that because now imagine if the market intelligence analyst is ambiguous and non-specific, then that means that the context that you're going to give to the content strategist is also vague and ambiguous, meaning that the quality of the output is also going to be not great, and not adhering to the brand expectations, basically. Then you need a detailed backstory. Okay, that's like context for the particular agent, just telling us about the agent. And then you need measurable goals. So that's yeah, you can't just say go out there and make me happy or something like that. You actually have to say this is what you're going to do, because remember, agents, these are goal driven entities that have a specific objective. And it's always important to give less goals, right? So that there's specificity. And you'd rather break them down into as many agents that do little goals, as opposed to having one agent that does 1,000 things. So that's important. And there has to be a way to measure the goals, to say, have we achieved them or not? So there has to be some metric or some measurability of sorts, right? Okay. And then when it goes to the tasks, okay, so definitely you need to describe the task in detail. You need to tell us what the expected outcomes are, and this is based on the goals, um, and uh, and proper context linking. So you need to tell us if uh, if the context is coming from um, prior agents, then you need to specify that, and you need to tell us what else if there are other sources of context that you're plugging in, if it's a CRM or if it's a social media activity or whatever data. It could be secondary or primary data that you have. Then yeah, then you need to plug it in as well. So things to avoid vague instructions, missing context, overlapping roles, unrealistic expectations. So overlapping roles, I'll just go back there. The McKinsey people will tell you that the roles have to be MISI, right? Mutually exclusive and cumulatively exhaustive, meaning that you need to cover everything that is in scope, but at the same time, um, the roles have to be distinct. So that's important. Let your agents be MISI, okay? Agent roles, that is. Right. So the learning path now. Okay, so this is where I'm literally going to do a demo for this, where I'm going to run my Python file, and I'm going to show you how it works, right? So basically, I'm focusing on the start where I'm going to do my pre-configured simple Python file, but then um, I'll get the output. And then if I want to actually now scale it and improve it, then I can actually modify the example, change the product, audience, add in other agents, and then expand it. So it's almost like those level 1, 2, 3 that we're talking about until I have something that is enterprise level grade, right? So then when I have something that I feel is enterprise and ready, it's got all the tools and it's got all the validation, then it can be deployed into production, and then it's part of the marketing stack, right? But it's a process. So that's how you start simple, and then incrementally you refine through experimentation and expansion through more tools and more roles, right? Okay. So um, for context, so that at least you can go back and learn more, you can look at the CrewAI documentation. You can also look at João Moura's GitHub. He's the founder of CrewAI. And then you can find other examples as well, CrewAI examples that you can just have a look at. It's the best way of learning how to do multi-agent systems. And you find quite a lot of big implementers are also using CrewAI. So there's also a Discord group server and Stack Overflow. If you search for the tag CrewAI, you'll find that um, you can read a lot of um, technical capabilities of CrewAI on Stack Overflow, and mostly it's shared by humans, so that's good. So the key takeaways is that autonomous AI agents execute complete workflows. CrewAI makes it simple because it's got a formula where it says agents plus tasks plus crew equals automation. And then sequential process ensures coherent results. Contextual passing enables collaboration. Start simple and scale gradually. So basically, this is an illustration of a process that usually takes weeks, but can be reduced to minutes because this is where marketing operations is going. So thank you for that. Now I'll go into the command line just to now illustrate what I've been talking about. So I'm going to quickly show you how I did this. Okay, so just gonna go into my, okay, so if you check, Okay, so this is the presentation I've been showing you, right? The presentation, I did it in LaTeX, and then I've got my Python file that is my agents, right? So basically, initially, I'm going to run my requirements, right? So I'm going to load my requirements through the requirements.txt. And okay, I've done that. Then next, I'm just going to put in my API, OpenAI API, right? I'll have to change it just now after this presentation because you've seen it. Then after that, now I can run my my Python file using that command as well. So now what we're going to be seeing is that, okay, so this is the A bank crew. We're saying that the workflow, that is the product launch, and the product is youth digital savings account, and the budget is 500,000. So now we're executing on the workflow. So let me go back here. It's moving so fast, right? So the first one that is executing the task is the agent, which is called the market intelligence analyst. And you can see that the task is to analyze the market for opportunity for a new digital savings account in South Africa. And these are the parameters. And then it says provide a brief market analysis with recommendation. So you find that the market intelligence analyst is working, right? And has got the final answer. So it worked, right? It worked, and it got. You can see the task is assigned to the market intelligence analyst, and status is completed. So now it's got its initial report, right? And this was quick, right? So market analysis report. So target audience profile. The primary target audience for the youth digital save in South Africa, right? This demographic is typically tech savvy, highly engaged with digital platforms, and in transitional life stages such as tertiary education, early employment, or entrepreneurship. They prioritize convenience, instant access to financial services, and value digital integration with mobile devices. Financial habits in this cohort often involve a mix of saving for short-term goals, education, travel, gadgets, and long-term plans, further education investments. Many youth remain unbanked or prefer digital-first banking solutions due to accessibility and personalization. So you can see now, you can look at the characteristics, the competitive landscape. You can see the FNB e-wallet as a strong competitor, and then the points around it: strong digital platform and app integration, competitive interest rates for youth accounts, accessibility via mobile app, offers discounts and rewards and all that. Standard Bank UCount, Capitec Global One, NetBank My World, Time Bank, and all that kind of stuff. And then recommended key features. To effectively compete and capture market share in the youth segment, the digital savings account should incorporate the following features. Then you've got all these features. I'm not going to go through all of them. Then the pricing strategy. Given that the price sensitivity of youth customers and competition from low-cost digital banks, a competitive and transparent pricing strategy is essential. So no monthly account maintenance fees to encourage adoption, zero minimum balance requirement to lower barriers, free unlimited transactions up to reasonable monthly thresholds. So, for example, 10 to 15 transactions. Thereafter, minimal fees, maybe 2 Rand to 5 Rand per transaction. Then free online and that kind of thing. So, yeah, okay, now let me go to the recommendations. I'm just skipping through. So the youth digital savings account should focus on seamless digital onboarding and a gamified, engaging saving experience, integrated rewards and stuff like that, partnering with popular youth brands like influencers and stuff like that. Pricing must be low cost with transparent fees and competitive interest rates to attract fiscally cautious young consumers. Emphasizing financial literacy and automated savings mechanisms will promote sustained usage and brand loyalty. By addressing digital convenience, personalization, and incentivized saving behavior, a new entrant can seize significant market share in this fast-growing tech-savvy South African youth segment. So those are the recommendations. So now that this task is completed, right? Now it's handing over now to the content marketing strategist. So this output is now the input for the content marketing strategist. So based on the market analysis, develop a content strategy for launching the youth digital savings account. Include key messaging themes, channel recommendations, content ideas. Keep it focused on digital first approach. So now you'll find that the content strategist is doing their job and they've got a final output. And this is based on the first agent's work, right? So final answer here, the key messaging pillars. So there's pillar 1, digital convenience and seamless onboarding. Pillar 2, gamified and goal-oriented saving experience. Pillar 3, value and financial empowerment for youth. And then you've got your recommended channels. So social media platforms, that's the primary focus. So you've got Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. Then you've got digital advertising and influencer collaborations. Collaborate with South African youth influencers, digital creators, and micro influencers who resonate authentically with students and young professionals. Use targeted paid ads on social and Google display. And then mobile app and website. Push notifications, in-app banners, chatbots to deliver personalized content and saving tips. Maintain a youth-friendly microsite featuring FAQs, gamification leaderboards, and financial resources. So you see there's a lot of elements of behavioral science in there. And then partnerships and campus activations, that's important as well. And then social media post ideas. So you've got the idea number 1, open your accounts in 60 seconds. So this one emphasizes speed, right? A fast-paced reel showing a step-by-step digital onboarding journey on a smartphone, Okay, so it gives you, and then it even gives you the caption as well. Then you've got meet your savings goals. Okay, this is goal-oriented. And then post idea number 3, level up your savings, right? Yeah, so that one is saying, is encouraging saving. Then Financial Tips Friday. And then this one is about financial literacy. And then the last one, exclusive youth partner packs review. So this one I think is to do with partnerships and influencers and stuff like that. So the recommendations, the content strategy is designed to resonate deeply with South African youth aged 18 to 25 by championing a fully digital and gamified rewarding experience delivered across the channels they use most and through content that feels relevant, empowering, and shareable. The focus on digital first convenience plus added value through gamification and exclusive will differentiate the youth digital savings account in a competitive space, drive engagement, adoption, and cultivates long-term financial habits. Okay, so that's end of document. So the task has been completed. So that means that the workflow of our 2 agents has been completed successfully. So this is the summary of the result, basically. So you've got your pillars, you've got your channels, you've got your social media post ideas, and then we can go in and actually find the text document that has been what you call this, that has been generated. And we can even add trace observability to see what the metadata is saying as they are working. We could go granular such that we know exactly where our processes can be optimized or can be improved beyond just the content itself, but the meta process itself. So you can actually see in terms of the trace batch that was finalized. So if you want, you can actually go in, you've got the trace code, you can go in and see exactly what was done, right? So the crew has completed its execution, and this is our final report, and we are done. So this is an example of how a crew would work And it's important that we understand that this is the future of marketing operations, where you have some of these tasks automated. So it'll be your decision as a department, as a company, enterprise, to say, what are we going to automate? What are we going to keep as human? What are we going to have human plus AI? But this is an illustration, but it's a very simplistic one. Otherwise, if you look at N8N and see some of the examples there, the templates, you'll see that workflows can get really messy, right? You can have orders of complexity that are crazy. So depending on your workflow, it will depend on that to see the level of complexity. But remember, Occam's razor, it's always easier to work with the simplest structure possible to achieve any objective, right? So if you can simplify it, then the better, as opposed to adding layers of complexity, which have got cost and quality implications along the way. So thank you very much for indulging me as I showed you how our hypothetical bank, a bank, created a marketing crew using these two agents. Thank you. Please follow Akalytica Lounge, our channel on YouTube, and yeah, let's talk. Thank you.